Hey, this is Eric with Expiring Music Writer. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't care. Suggest. This video I'm going to be doing is going to be a review of Toby Keith's most recent album called Peso in My Pocket. Before we get into the actual review, I'm just going to bullshit with y'all, just a yakking. Also check out, I've got another album or video coming up. It's a review of Sonny Sweeney and Julia Jackson, Live in the Majestic, on May 21st of last year. Yeah, I know I'm getting lazy. I'm going to start doing more album reviews. This is the first one I'm going to done in a while. But anyways, let's talk about a little about Toby Keith. Before anything, please, if you're a praying person or good vibes, send him good vibes. He come out the other day on his official Facebook page that he is battling stomach cancer. So hopefully he gets better, because, I hope he still makes good music, because he's still got a few years, I think, a lot, at least 10, 20 years. I hope, of him making music. And but the funny thing was, when Toby Keith was big, I was big into the 90s country too. That's what I grew up on, and other than 70s rock, which my uncle, that's all he listened to, was late 60s and early 70s rock. But the funny thing is, I really didn't appreciate Toby Keith at that time, his music at that time, until years later when I had a buddy of mine was big into Toby Keith, and and then I went back and actually listened to songs that weren't actually radio hits, and I'm not big on some of the singles that Toby comes out with. Some of them are good, like Crash Here Tonight. I love that song. What's that other song? Oh shit, it's the one where he locks himself, where he's bricking the wall up. Anyways, I love that one. But like High Maintenance Woman, not a big fan of that song. Trailer Hood, do not like that song. There's good and bad, I think, with every artist. Some songs, you got some people like fuck Toby Keith. He was good when he was younger, but now blah blah blah. But I think it's just different opinions, And I was that way for a long time, fuck Toby Keith and his new music. But now, because I was so into the Red Dirt and Texas music that, the whole songwriting thing and soul songwriting where you do it on your own, and then I kind of strained back after I listened to a few artists, and, it may not be your cup of tea. And like Steve Earle said it best, because I was listening to Steve Earle on Jack Ingram's Jacking Around podcast, and he said the bad part is, he said there's really no bad state right now of country music. It's just some people are good and some are worse, but it's just their time, and that kind of, the bro country and the rap country and all that stuff. And, I've kind of held myself back now, where I was used to gung-ho and fuck Nashville and this and that. I'm not that way anymore, or starting to get to. And the first time that I listened to this album, I just wasn't in the mood. None of the songs I like, but and to me, I have to be in that mood for that type of music. I've gone through deals where I get tired of Red Dirt music and Cross Country and Rag, where I just don't want to listen to them for a month or two or even 3 months or a week or whatever, But what got me into the Toby Keith thing was I went to a buddy's house that I've known since I was 17 years old, and we could just talking about the good old days, and and Toby Keith, and we listened to a lot of Rodney Carrington too, but and just Toby Keith But like I said, and like I said, and the funny thing is with him, I hope to God, God willing, I get to write with him one day. Because I've written a few songs kind of really inspired by him. I wrote one, I can't remember what the two songs were, but really influenced by Toby Keith, that type of lyrics and stuff. Excuse me. But, well, my point was, back during the pandemic, yes, I am got a Jack Ingram hat. I've been really getting into his Jacking Around podcast, and I hope to get my podcast back up. It's going to be called Sharky's Talk. I don't know if I'm going to just do all audio or do like a YouTube deal. I don't know just yet. I'm going to have a guy named Chance Stanley on there. I know if it works out. Great young songwriter from Mississippi, I think. And then try to have a few other people on there. I know JT Hubbard said he's interested. I got a guy named JR. I think I'm gonna see if he'll want to get together and just do a podcast. But anyways, also check out a podcast called Cage, CAGE, Against the Machine podcast. It's my buddy Adam Harvin. I was a guest on there with a girl named Lindsay and then Adam. And we watched a Nicolas Cage movie from the 90s and just talked about comedy and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But check that out. His YouTube channel was not Aspiring Music Writer. That's mine. His YouTube channel is Adam Is Not Funny. But check that out. Man, this beer's going down good. But anyways, and when I went back, a few years later, me and a buddy of mine, because Tyler got me into the slower songs. I hated slow songs when I was a kid. Everything I wanted upbeat or happy. And then when he's like, you really need to listen to slow songs. And it weren't for him and another guy, I wouldn't have even picked up a writing utensil to write songs. But like I said, Tired is probably one of my favorite songs by Toby Keith. He put out a video, I don't know if it was a single. I'd love to watch Broken Bridges again. I need to get that movie on DVD again. I had it at one time. But anyways, what I was saying during the pandemic, BJ Barham of American Aquarium was doing a bunch of 90s covers, and that's really what got me back into the 90s music, because I was so on Red Dirt and Americana, Oklahoma, Texas music, and but BJ Barham, and I give him kudos, and I've talked about this multiple times in my videos, that like when he was doing that deal during the pandemic of the live streams and doing the covers of the 90s music, he said that he was not influenced by Texas or Oklahoma or music. He said what he started listening to, got him into music, was a 90s country. He's a 90s kid. That is so fucking awesome not to, because a lot of artists will say, like Guy Clark and Towns Van Zant and all them Texas and Oklahoma songwriters were, their heroes, and that's what they listened to. But, BJ said, no, mine was a 90s country. And they've got 2 albums, 2 volumes called Slappers, Bangers, and Certified Twangers. So check that out. But like I said, that's really what got me into going back to the 90s stuff, and especially Toby Keith. And but like I said, Toby Keith was a great songwriter. He's always been. I love him because he stands up for what he believes in. He don't take no shit from nobody. And some of his songs might lean more towards mainstream, and some don't. But like I said, I think my favorite song by him, I'd say my top 5 favorite songs is Tired, Knock Yourself Out. Um, there Nights I Can't Remember with Friends I'll Never Forget. I'm trying to think of some other songs of his that are just knock out, Crash Here Tonight, and he's got a lot of great songs. I mean, a lot of dumber songs, but not really dumber songs, but more mainstream songs like High Maintenance Woman. I'm not a big part of or big fan of Trailer Hood. Now, I like Jackie Dawn Tucker. I love that song. But like I said, there's one other song I'm forgetting about that I really love. I go to all the time. But I'm in a Toby mood. But anyways, like I said, Peso in My Pocket, we'll talk about that now, was released almost 6 years to the date. It was 1 week off from the last album that he did, which was 35 mile per hour town. But Peso in My Pocket was released October 15th, 2021. And it's a 10 track album with one cover. It kicks off with Oklahoma Breakdown. Now, if you don't know if you've never heard of Oklahoma Breakdown, there's 3 artists that do it that I know of. It was written by a Norman, Oklahoma guy named Mike Hosty, and he's a big time dealer around Oklahoma. And it was actually on a song or album called Duo in 2003 that he did it, which was the original version. But the most famous version is Tony LaRue's Live at Billy Bob's, which he did in 2006. Mike Hosey's is a little bit different. It's more bluesy and a lot slower. And to me, Toby's is a little bit slower than Stoney's, but they're all great. I mean, and for a fellow former Okie or fellow Okie to do another Okie song, which is pretty cool. But like I said, I'm not going to go into what the song is because I'm sure everybody knows Oklahoma Breakdown. Like I said, big hit for Stoney LaRue. Then it's Peso in My Pocket. And Toby Keith wrote that song. And it's an upbeat, feel-good Mexican type song. Or it's got the Mexican influence, just having a good time down in Mexico. I got a peso in my pocket and a pepper in my pants. And then, I said, it goes to a song called Old School. And not to be mistaken for Guns N' Roses' single Old School. It was written by Brett Tyler, Maureen Morris, and Ryan Hurd. It's a little bit more newer country sounding, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I like it. It's reminiscing back to your high school days, reliving your high school days. That's verse 1. Verse 2 is, these young 2 kids get married. They're not making much money, but they're living on love. They got pawn shop wedding rings. They're happy, but they're just not making it. I mean, they're making it on a shoestring budget, which I actually wrote that down for a song called Shoestring Budget, or Living on a Shoestring Budget. Then number 4 is a pretty funny song, too. It was written by John Lewis Parker and Kevin Moore. And it's about this guy that is in a relationship with a woman. And, it's great, but he just loves the old me better, which that's what the song is called, Old Me Better. And about, I could wake up, sleep all day, wake up and party all night and do what I want to, It's good, but, and I think, too, it's, having second thoughts about being in this relationship because, it's good, but I'd rather have my old life back. Then the middle marker of the album is Days I Should Have Died, and that's probably my favorite song on this album. It reminds me of back to my high school days, and I told a buddy of mine to look it up, Tyler. And what that song, who was it written by? Let me see. It was written by Brett Warren, and Jesse Joe Dillon. And Brett and Brett Warren, I think, is the guy that wrote Red Solo Cup. It's a great upbeat song, but I got tired of it really quick. I don't really like it anymore. But it's catchy as hell, don't get me wrong. But I know Brett and Brad have written a few songs for Toby Keith in the past. But it's living life to the fullest and reminiscing back to the days where he should have died and thanking God you didn't, and lucky you're still alive. And just like I said, just reliving it's a good song, funny song. There's a lot of funny songs on this album, or upbeat good songs, good feeling songs. And then number 6 is Growing Up Is a Bitch. That's another funny song. He co-wrote that song with Sammy Hagar. I'm sure everybody knows who Sammy Hagar is. Lead singer, not the frontman for Van Halen, not like David Lee Roth, but he came after. And it's just it's a tongue-in-cheek song. Trying to quit all your bad habits. You don't want to. Getting old is fine, but growing up is a bitch. You don't want to be mature, and you want to stay out and party all night and do stupid shit, And number 7, I love this song too. I didn't like it at first because it was more newer country sounding, but after I listened to it a few times, it's pretty fucking hilarious, or pretty lyrically savvy. It's called She's Drinking Again, and it's about this woman that she's nice and calm, cool, collected. She's a great mother to her kids, a great wife, but as soon as she starts drinking, you better get the fuck away. She's mean as a snake, Jake. Don't get up in her grill bill. That's some of the lyrics. It's funny as fuck. Then Thunderbird, that is, hang on. She's Drinking Again was written by Toby Keith alone. Thunderbird, that's probably my least favorite song on the album. It's an upbeat song. It's just about a big party place, and partying. I just think it's got a rockabilly kind of Johnny Cash intro. It reminds me of Ring of Fire. Then it kind of goes into Mexican type music. Tijuana, I don't know. Tex-Mex, Texicana, I don't know what you'd say. But it's probably, like I said, my least favorite song on the album. I just didn't care that much for it. But number 9 is Taking a Look at My Heart. And this was a song that was written by John Mellencamp and John Prine. Two people I thought would never write a song together because they're so different. But it's about a guy warning another guy about the girl, his old lady that he used to date, going, you don't know what you're getting into. I'm just forewarning you. But like I said, I don't know if John Prine or John Mellencamp ever actually recorded it. I don't know. Because I remember years ago, I was listened to Kid Rock's, was it his self-titled album? It's got the one with, what was that old song from, it's an older band. Anyways, there's a song on there called, that was written by Bob Seger, but I never could find it. It was one he never did record or never did release. I don't know if he ever recorded it. But so I don't know if they either one of them recorded it, Prine or Mellencamp. And then the last one is a slower song, which is weird that an album ends on a slow song. Is "Happy Birthday America," and that was written by Toby Keith. It's just, it's the 4th of July, Happy Birthday America, but shit's going down the drain, and you can't get the left and the right to come together and do anything, and it's just not good, or not good, but America just wasn't as great as it used to be back in the old days. And, the newer generations just don't understand, and they're fucking shit up, and it's a great song. So that, my friends and YouTube friends, whatever, is the Peso in My Pocket album. Great album. Like I said, at first, when I first heard it or was listening to it, I didn't like it. But like I said, I wasn't in the mood. But give it a chance. Even the songs that seem more nowadays country, like I said, give it a listen. And hopefully Toby Keith gets completely healed of his stomach cancer. God bless him, and God bless y'all, and I will see y'all later.